We good? All right. Well, first of all, just I appreciate our fans. I mean, we had a great crowd here today, and it was awesome to see a bunch of orange when we first came out. I think that was great for our guys to see. And secondly, I just say, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. It's been a great week. I hope everyone's had a great Thanksgiving with your families. And before I talk about the game, I want to just mention Coach McKissick. I know we all know Coach McKissick passed away on Thanksgiving Day. What a fitting time for him to pass. Because I know there's thousands of people out there that are thankful that they had Coach McKissick in their life. And so just thoughts and prayers are with Coach McKissick's family. And Donnie McElveen played quarterback for me as his grandson, and I had the opportunity to get to know him over my last 17 years here in South Carolina. And just a class man, one of the most iconic human beings you could ever meet, and just special. So we're going to miss him. I know it was time. The good Lord called him home. I think he was 93, and I guess he coached. He was like 88 or something like that, 88, 89, and right there at Somerville High School. And so, I think first and foremost, just take time to thank him. And when I first got the job here at Clemson as the head coach at 38 years old or 39, when I went to the clinic, my first clinic, to speak, and Coach John McKissick was sitting in the front row taking notes from me. Like, what is he going to learn from me? And I just that left such a lasting impression on me. That here he was, 80-something years old, and still passionate and eager to learn and to continue to grow, and that's why he had such an unbelievable career and such a fruitful life. So, this was a great day today, and really proud of our team. This is an important game to everybody in the state, and I thought both teams, handled themselves with great competitiveness and class out there today. But proud of our guys to win 6 of these in a row. I don't think that's happened in 79 years or 80 years. That's a long time. So I'm just really proud of our team, and some of the individual things that happened today were incredible. It was our 115th win this decade. I think only us, Alabama and Ohio State, have 115 wins in this decade, and we've played both of them this decade a few times. Pretty neat. That hadn't happened since the 1890s, Penn and Yale. So I think that's a historic moment today, not just winning this game, but just for our program and what's transpired over this last decade. And a great day, and great for our conference. I know everybody says we don't play anybody, but I think we're 10-1 versus the SEC in our last 11. And we've played some pretty good teams. That seems to always be the storyline. But our program and our team takes pride in these type of games. We take pride in every single game. I'm just really proud of the group in that room in there, and all of our coaches. Offensively, 527 yards, 316 passing, 211 rushing. Trevor Lawrence, unbelievable. I think he tied an ACC record, 18 consecutive passes in a row. It's pretty incredible. Travis Etienne, I know he's not good enough to be a Doak Walker finalist. He's just not quite good enough for that. But he's the all-time ACC touchdown leader, and not done yet. He scored more touchdowns than any player in the history of the ACC, rushing and total. But yet he's not quite good enough to be a finalist for some running back award. It's just unbelievable to me. But that's just kind of the way it is. People have missed out on a beautiful career and missed out on a beautiful season from number 9. He's had one of the most dominant seasons I've ever seen from a player. Unbelievable what he's done this year. It's incredible. And so just really proud of him. And T. Higgins, we've had a lot of good players come through here, especially at receiver. He's the first receiver ever to have 10 touchdown receptions in 2 years in a row, back-to-back years. Hasn't happened. And, man, just an awesome job by him. And Justin Ross had a career-high 9 catches, 111 yards. And we had a lot of big plays from a lot of people. DeAndre Overton had another big day for us. Amari, he does some of the things. Sometimes it doesn't show up on the stat line, but so productive. Our offensive line did a great job. We gave up the 1 sack. We subbed and gave up the 1 sack there late. But man, I'm just really proud of those guys, our offensive line especially, because they're all of those things, the record for T, the record for Trevor, the record for ETN. That don't happen without a dominant offensive line. And so those guys have had a wonderful career, and just really proud of them. We're 12-0 for the 4th time in the history of the school. Special teams, we did some good things today. We put Travis back there on kick return, and he made an instant impact. He's the best guy we got on the team with the ball in his hands, and we kind of felt like it was time to cut him loose, and he made an instant impact. We had some really good punts. Spires had a great day. He pinned one, I think, on the 2, and then had another one down as well. And just a really good day. We were 1 of 2 on field goal. I think BT's now 3 of his last 4. It was good to see him make a 46-yarder today. So we've done some good things in all areas. We did have a couple penalties that we need to clean up. But I think the story is our defense. I think everybody knew we were going to be good offensively this year, but defensively, that's 15 in a row that we've held the opponent to 20 or less, and that hadn't happened since 1937. So I'm not even sure they had the forward pass in 1937. Tim, can you tell me that?
They did.
Okay, good. All right.
1906.
All right. Well, I know Newt Rockney, or not Newt. What was his name? Newt Rockney. Yeah, Newt Rockney came up with it, so I knew he'd know. But there wasn't a lot of forward passes probably in 1930. So that's incredible. It's incredible what our defense has done, and they held these guys to 174 total yards, 69 yards rushing. And so just a tremendous job by our defense. Big interception by DK, and that led to points. Probably the biggest thing we were disappointed with offensively was we didn't punch it in down there on the first drive. We had 3 shots at it and just wasn't clean, never got it in. That was probably the biggest disappointment of the game, that and then the sack. But other than that, we really played a nice game on offense, especially taking care of the ball. And then defensively, we played a great game. We gave up the 1 big play. And they did get a little bit of run game going there in the second quarter to get the field goal. But just super proud of our team. And, we're a healthy team. Everybody came through it, fine, in good shape there. So to be going into game 13 with a healthy team is a real blessing. It's something we're thankful for. But, we've been battling all year for this opportunity. And now here we are. We got a chance to get back to Charlotte and to play a really talented Virginia team, a team that's impressive, just can't say enough great things about Bronco and the job he's done at Virginia. And you saw it. I've seen it coming. And, MV Tech, they had a great year as well this year. Justin did a great job, and that was a heck of a game. But we're honored to play Virginia in Charlotte and for our league. And, we're not entitled to win, man. You got to earn it every single week. So we're excited about getting back to work. We're going to enjoy this one tonight and get back to work Monday. We're thankful that we get another week of football. Most everybody else is going to be done, but there's a few teams that get a chance to play for their league, and we don't ever take that for granted. So we're super excited about the opportunity and having our best week. Again, appreciate our fans, appreciate our team for how they fought. Great leadership, especially with this senior group. Any questions?
Dabo, how about Trevor on 3rd down, not just through the air, but also with his legs?
Yeah, I told him that. There was a point again, I walked over there and I told him, I just took my headset off and I said, man, it is so much fun to watch you play quarterback. Because he made a couple of decisions that, the big 3rd down, the long run, they played a 4-man, which basically is like a 2-man concept. And that's a tough coverage, but the weakness is if you got a quarterback that can run the ball. And, but for him to just process it and to realize the situation and to not try to force a ball and to take off and run. And he bailed us out a couple other times too, but that's what he can do. We ran the option a few times today. I think we caught him off guard a little bit with some of our option checks. And He had a great run down there in the red zone to set up a score. So he doesn't get enough credit. He had a career high 66 yards rushing. He doesn't get enough credit for what he does with his legs, and that was the number one thing coming into this season for him to grow. He needed to be more productive with his legs, and again, not necessarily called runs, but productive in creating, third and fives, checking the ball down, extending plays. You saw him reset in the pocket on the long touchdown to T. Great protection, but sometimes on a play like that, it takes a little while to develop. His reset in the pocket, moving his feet. I mean, he's just done that all year long. And then some scrambling. I mean, he scrambled and made big plays. He scrambled and made first downs with his legs. And you saw that a couple of times today. So he just, you look at him and you don't really think that because he's so tall and long, but he can run. And he's just really gotten a nice feel for when to run it, and he's done a great job of checking the ball down. He had some good check downs today. They played a lot of man coverage, and he found his back 2 or 3 times to keep us on schedule. So I just thought it was pretty special to watch him play quarterback today.
Coach Mike Jones had that big PBU to get a turnover on downs. How good was it to see those backups come in and keep them off the scoreboard?
It was awesome. That was a great play. They went for it on 4th down right there, and that was a great play and great for his confidence. He's a guy that's going to have to play a lot for us next year. He's had some big moments this year, but obviously with some guys moving on, he's going to have more opportunity, and he's a good player. And it was really exciting because, his teammates were pumped. I mean, and they were like, hey, now that's a ball play right there. I mean, so to see him make a key play like that, again, is just shows his preparation, his readiness, and again, will be great for his confidence.
Yeah, but going back to the defense, the whole season holding teams under 300 yards. You ever seen that before?
No. I mean, it's unbelievable. What's that? 12 games in a row. Is that a record?
I think it's the stats they have. ESPN has back to 1996, and nobody's done it since.
Yeah, I mean, it's just incredible. And again, I was just barely out of playing in 1996. And trust me, the offense has changed since then. And so it's amazing. And again, it speaks to, number one, to the preparation that we have defensively. Coach V and our staff, they do an unbelievable job. But also to what we talked about in our very first meeting in August was the back seven. They're just so rarely out of place. And they just have done a phenomenal job of allowing the guys up front. They've taken a lot of pressure off those guys up front and allowed them to just play and become good players. I mean, you can be great and dominant up front, but if you got guys running wide open on the back end, you can get exposed quick. But we've just been so sound and so prepared week in and week out with that back seven. It's put a lot of strain. And then we're talented up front. We're obviously inexperienced coming into the season, and they've just gotten better and better all year. But our defense has been incredibly consistent. I mean, they're ahead of where we were last year. Ahead of us statistically and just more consistent. I think this time last year we were like 70th in the country in plays of 20 yards or more. And I think we're like 4th in the country. So that again speaks to the detail of our back seven. And so just super proud of what we've done all year long. And again, we're not done. We got more to do. We got no program's ever won 5 conference championship games in a row, ever. We tied Florida last year. And so, man, we got it. This team has some unique opportunities in front of it. And so, obviously, not only doing that, but we find a way to win the game. We got a chance to, hopefully get back in the playoff. I don't know if anybody thinks we're a good team or not, but hopefully we can get back on the Roy bus and go to some playoff spot and see if they let us play for it again.
Yeah, but you mentioned the crowd. Did it feel different coming down here with so much orange in the crowd?
Yeah, it was. They always have a great crowd here, and I thought most of them. I mean, they had a lot of people stay too. I know the game kind of got out of hand, but I thought their fans were great, and they stayed and supported their team to the end. A lot of people did, but it was great. Coming through the tunnel there, and all of a sudden there was just a lot of orange in that upper deck behind us and over on our side, and so I really appreciate our fans making an effort to try to get here.
Was this Justin Ross's best game of the season? I'm kind of
I mean, he's been great all year. He's just kind of doing what he's doing, and you know, just situation of the game. We did some good stuff, and we had that 2-minute drive was excellent at the end, and we all the way down to setting up our clock play to where we could clock it and kick a field goal. He had you know 2 or 3 really nice plays in that, but he's been really steady. What a great play on the touchdown! Wow, just an incredible play. But he's just been steady, you know. He's just become very consistent, and I think all of those guys are playing at a high level for us. I mean, I think the guy right now that's really made a difference for us is Overton. I mean, he's just kind of sneaky, you know. You just kind of forget about him, and he's made some big plays on third downs. He had a couple big plays on the 2-minute drive there, or the minute drive, whatever it was, minute 18. So I think all of them are really, you know, making some good plays for us, and Justin's just kind of more of the same. You know, he did have a record today as far as 9 catches, but he's kind of been that guy all year.
Was the mismatch of your receivers against their defensive back something you emphasized all week? And noticed after the first drive, you passed a lot more than you ran. Was that something that you already kind of had cooked up, or was it an adjustment after not punching it in?
You know, listen, I think they've got 2 great corners. I mean, I think those guys are great players. In fact, I told one, I went over, we just had a kind of a timeout. I was like, man, you're as good a player as I've seen all year. He's a really good football player and does a great job. And 24, I mean, he's massive. He's about as long a corner as you're going to see. I think they're good players. I think they've got good safeties, good secondary. They're well coached on defense. It wasn't necessarily we just kind of do what we do. You know, we just run our offense. You know, it wasn't it's not like we came in and go, oh man, those guys are not good in the secondary. No, they're pretty good. We just try to give our guys the opportunity to be successful and make sure our quarterback's equipped with the tools he needs and the decisions and then we let them play. You know, and at the end of the day, you're either good enough or you're not.
Did
But
they devote? I'm
go
sorry.
ahead.
Were they devoting more of their numbers to stopping?
Played a lot of one safety, and that's kind of who they've been. You know, they did play. Like I said, on that first big third down that Trevor had, they went to a little 4-man, 2-man concept there, and that hurt them. And they didn't do a whole lot of that anymore after that. Played a lot of one safety. They did mix in some 3 deep and a little bit of 2 deep here and there, but it was mostly. I mean, we knew that coming in. They're pretty much a cover 1, cover 3 type team and trying to get numbers in to stop the run, and that's why I was really proud of the fact that we were still able to run the ball for 211 yards because they pride themselves on being able to stop the run. So they got to give our backs a lot of credit. You got to give that group up front and those guys blocking on the second level.
You mentioned that back 7.
We've got players and coordinators started outside for anybody who wants to step up here.
You mentioned that back 7 as one of the big reasons this year. One of the question marks coming in at back 7 was Darion Kendrick. What about how vital has development been, and what have you seen this year? You know, what he's done through this year.
Well, he's just allowed us to not miss a beat. You know, I went up to New York last week and watched Trayvon Mullen play for the Raiders. So, you know, we went to dinner last Saturday night and we actually talked about DK and how he's representing that number 1 that Trayvon wore. So it just allowed us to really, again, not miss a beat because he's a baller. I mean, he is the epitome of football player. You know, if you just kind of look up in the dictionary, football player, DK's picture is going to be there because he's just one of those guys that can play the game and can play multiple positions. I mean, he's just a very talented young man. He brings great energy. He brings an edge. He's got really good instincts for the game, and a lot of that, he's played quarterback most of his life, so he just knows the game. And he's just been easy to coach and plays with a lot of confidence. And as he's developed now, you know, I mean, he was almost like a true freshman again this year at a new position, but now he's played 12 games, and I think what he sees in practice every day, you know, going against Trevor Lawrence and Chase and all those receivers, that has sped up his growth. And so he's really solidified us, and it's allowed us to develop Mario. I think Mario is a really good player. I think Mario is a very talented player. Sheridan, Booth, those guys have been able to kind of come in and just kind of, you know, learn and develop and not have to, you know, play too much before they're ready, and that's a big credit to DK.
Do you have enough update on Carmen?
No, he's all right.
Good.
Yeah, he's fine.
Dabo, you got